So I got a comment that says, I relapsed yesterday. After a month, I'm really feeling very proud of this goal. Congratulations. I notice every time that the strongest trigger to relapse is the spiral that I finish after thinking it won't be a problem just to see a single photo of that girl. And then all the things get worse in an instant. Oh yes, this the classic. This is called the dopamine urge. This is your brain before day 90. Basically everybody has to go through this stage where your brain is actively trying to make you relapse. And the way this will manifest itself, for example, you will see a news feed or some type of YouTube algorithm, like YouTube recommended page, and your brain will continuously tell you to click on the girls, and it has absolutely nothing to do with porn. Same on Instagram, like you will see 1 out of 10 Instagram reels that are basically just girls that you find attractive, and your brain will make you click on those instead of the other ones. And the worst thing is you will not even notice the other ones, and because you click on the girl, the algorithm will recognize that, and it will only show you those things that you like, of course. Same for YouTube, same for Instagram. So how do you navigate these first 30 to 90 days before you kind of realize what you have to look out for, really, before you get the clarity around day 60 to day 90 of, hey, this is what I actually need to do to get better? The first thing is delete the Instagram apps. Delete, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all of these scrolling apps. If your app has a scrolling feature, you should delete it. Another thing that I found very helpful is, Spotify has implemented a lot of these scrolling features, and especially like they give you these videos so you can switch to video, right? And a lot of music videos have like naked or half naked girls in them. So definitely make the video as low quality as possible. Set the quality to low if you have Spotify, and disable this automatic little animation or GIF or GIF, however you say it, that automatically shows you like a little artistic piece of the music that you're listening to, because that can be triggering as well for your brain. Yeah, so things get worse, things spiral down, because this is the dopaminergic urge. This is like once you click on the picture or on the whatever that you were clicking on that you weren't supposed to, be it an Instagram reel or a YouTube video, your brain will get the positive feedback that yes, it's good, I got some dopamine, so that was a worthy click, good job. The next thing it will do is it will look for a more egregious, a bigger, more stimulating video, a more stimulating photo or Instagram reel, and it will just make you click on that. And of course it's the same as watching porn. Like at the start you will just watch some nice little, nothing out of the ordinary, but you will end up with the most stimulating, the most, fucked up thing. And the same goes for these like kind of edging, because this is edging. You're basically giving yourself dopamine. At the start it will be completely innocent, but you have to keep yourself in check when it is innocent, because later on it will be a lot harder to stop. All right, so this guy set a safe search on Google, which I don't use Google. I will show you how I set up my stuff, but safe search is fine. That is acceptable. I no longer have to use this. Sometimes I get some sites pop up that are, XXX porn sites or whatever, but it doesn't really faze me anymore. But yeah, it's a good idea at the start. And activated a block of certain apps and sites by Stay Free. I assume this is a porn blocker, so I am very heavily against actually blocking the porn sites. I think you should always be able to go to any website that you want, because you are responsible for your recovery, and you cannot offload that responsibility to someone else. It's one thing to set up your devices so they don't distract you, so they don't suck you down into this dopaminergic hole, It's a completely different thing to kind of offload responsibility to other apps. So what happens when you get these porn blockers is your brain will try to start fixing the problem, which is the porn blocker, because at this point you give up responsibilities, like, sure, this porn blocker will keep me from relapsing, and your brain thinks, okay, how do I get around that? And of course, there is always a way around it. There is always a site that's not gonna be blocked. There is always a link that's not gonna be blocked. So you will find it, and at that point you will relapse. So that's why I am not in support of porn blockers. So I also noticed when I got sick, it's much easier to accept relapse. At this point, I'm asking myself the true motivation of continuing. Look, the way this works is when you're stressed out, you're reaching for your substance, you're reaching for your feel-good thing. And when you get sick, you are more likely to have urges. So you're more likely to relapse as well. This is completely normal, and it makes sense. And the funny thing is, the more you resist, the more you successfully avoid relapsing when you're sick, the more you will be able to stay clean even when the times are tough. But again, this is not about, getting every single day perfectly. This is about understanding when you fell for your urges. Perhaps you didn't even watch porn, but understanding your mistakes, those little edging mistakes that you did, and so you can revert it, and it will be always painful. I promise you, it's always gonna be harder to go the right way than to go the wrong way. The way to porn is completely effortless. It's made that way on purpose. And sure, the porn industry, although it does make a living off of people who are addicted to porn, but it's not initially made for you to get hooked any more than YouTube is made for you to get hooked, or Facebook, or Instagram. But wait, you might say, these apps are made for me to get hooked. Yeah, it's the same thing. So yeah, you need to fight against that, and you need to set up your phone. Again, I have a full guide coming very shortly on how to set up your phone. And again, it's been working out really well for me. So can't wait to show you guys how it's done. And I'm looking for some feedback as well on that. So yeah, at this point, I'm asking myself the true motivation of continuing. If it is mainly I want to reach the superpowers that everybody notices after a certain period, I can say that, coincidence or not, also this happened to me twice, that after 2 weeks I started to talk to girls more. Yeah, this is just how it works. You cut the drug, you no longer get the correct feelings from watching porn because you're not watching porn, and then you start to have this kind of sexual awakening that you get when you are off of porn, basically, and you get to start talking to girls more. Or if you're more of a beginner, you might notice things like having better social skills, having better eye contact. And yeah, people might call these superpowers, but it's a lot more depressing, because these are the symptoms of porn addiction are lifting, actually. So this isn't superpowers, but yeah, sure, let's call it superpowers. It's a lot more optimistic if you call it that. But it takes about 90 days to get mostly clean, and then an additional 1 to 2 years to basically rewire the brain pathways that were used for watching porn, and basically find new ways to cope with the same negative emotions. And so after a couple of years, you will understand that these superpowers are gonna stay, and they aren't actually that amazing. Like, just because nobody acts normally in this society, especially the guys, doesn't mean that when you do reach the normal level, you're like an amazing Superman. It's just you're gonna reach the normal, the way that you should have been from the first place, and this will be an advantage to you, because nobody else has this. Absolutely no one else. Like, there are very, very few guys on NoFap, and about 99% of men watch porn regularly. So extremely depressing, but again, this can be an advantage, and you can get this, I always say like 5 to 10% advantage over literally anyone else. And doesn't mean that you're gonna be better than everybody, but life will be a lot more effortless, things will be a lot more clear, and it is definitely something that's worth fighting for. Yeah, so the conclusion and what you should take away from this video is nobody's gonna congratulate you for doing NoFap without any assistance, without setting up your phone properly. But on the other hand, porn blockers don't work because you are offloading responsibility. So the right way is to find the balance and set up your phone to avoid the distractions, delete Instagram and all this stuff that you don't actually use. Because what this will do is it will allow you to keep your head clearer, and yeah, it will just improve your mental health in general, but that's a topic for a different video. And so by doing this, you will still have the responsibility to stay clean and not to edge, but you will not be distracted 24/7. Each time you open your phone, you will not go to Instagram, you will not go to browse on whatever platform like YouTube. And yeah, that's the right way to do NoFap. So how is your NoFap journey? What are your questions? This has been an amazing comment, and I thank the guy whose name is way too long for me to pronounce. And let me know your story, let me know your pitfalls and your struggles so I can help you. Because I'm someone who's been on NoFap for 5 years, completely changed my life, went from basically a basement dweller into a young entrepreneur. And I do coaching. I coach people who are struggling with NoFap, who are struggling with ADHD. And if you're somebody like that, you can always apply on my Instagram. But currently I'm not really looking for clients. But that's just on a side. YouTube is the thing that you're here for, and I'm here to provide the knowledge that you seek. Stay strong, guys. I'm rooting for you, and I'll see you in the next video.